Hi class, today we're talking about 10-3 misleading graphs. Now really what we're going to do today is mean, median, and mode. And those are things that you probably touched a little bit on last year, and if you've totally forgot, that's fine. That's one of the things we talk about again in 7th grade. So the mean is when you add all the numbers and then divide by how many numbers that you have added, and that's also known as the average. So it has two different known names. The median, that's when you order from least to greatest and then find the number in the middle. If there are two middle numbers, you average them, which means add them up and divide. The mode is the number or numbers that appears most often. You also can have no mode. So we start up with a group of 7 students. This is question number 1. There are 8 question types, so number 1 and number 5 are the same. A group of 7 students was asked, how many hours do you watch TV last week? Here are their responses. Find the mean. If necessary, round to the nearest 10th. So here we have our numbers. We had 14, 6, 17, 15, 7, 6, and 7. Add them all up, and I already did that, so we had 72. So there's my total, and there are 7 students. So then I would take my 72 and divide it by the 7 students. And we're going to get a number which we're going to have to round, and it said to round to the nearest 10th. So I look at my tens place, I have a 2. To the right is an 8. That 8 is going to make my 2 move up to 10 and 3/10. So 10 and 3/10. Okay, so again, add all them up, divide by how many numbers you had. Number 2, group of 7 students. Oh, that's the same one. Now, number 2 is just like number 6. They're going to ask you to find the median and the mean. So each of the 8 students reported the number of movies they saw in the past year. This is what they reported. Find the median and the mean. So I'm going to start out with the median because that one needs to be ordered from least to greatest. So if I look here, I see that I have 2 7s and a 10. They tell me that there are 8 students, so I have to make sure when I write them down, I still have 8 numbers. So I have 7, 7, and a 10. 7, 7, 10. After the 10, I got a 13, 15, 17. So 13, 15, 17 are my next ones. 13, 15, 17. And then I have an 18 and a 19. Okay, they said I should have 8 students. Let's make sure I have 8 numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So I need to find the ones in the middle, so I'm just going to kind of cross off. Okay, those 2 are at my ends, and then those 2 are at the ends, and those 2 are at the ends. You're going to say, oh, wow, I got 2 numbers. I have 13 and 15. So I would add those together. 13 plus 15 is going to get me 28. And then if I take 28 divided by 2, that's going to get me my median, the middle number. And some of you are like, I already know that was the number in the middle. Great. If not, you can mathematically figure it out. The median is 14. For the mean, I need to add them all up, and you get to use a calculator, so I'm going to do that. I have 7 plus 7 plus 10 plus 13 plus 15 plus 17 plus 18 plus 19. Add those all together. I get 106 is my total. There are 8 students, so I'm going to take my 106 and divide it by 8. Again, it tells me to round to the nearest 10th. Now, some of you are like, but that's such an easy number. If it says to the 10th, you have to round to the 10th. So if I look to my 10ths, it's a 2. To the right, I see a 5. That's going to make it round up. So 13 and 3/10 movies. Okay. All right. Question number 3 is going to talk about the mode. The mode is the one that happens most often. Now, if you can just look at it, great. If you need to write it down and count, you sure can. If there's more than one mode, write them separated by commas. If there's no mode, click on no mode, which would be this button. Okay, I can tell we have a mode because I definitely see more than 1 3. So I have 1, 2, 3 3s. I also see 1, 2, 3 6s. I also see 1, 2, 3 7. So in this case, I actually have 3 modes because I only have 2 2s. Sorry, 2 4s, 1 5. So here I have a 3, a 6, and a 7 because all of those are repeated 3 times. So I actually have 3 modes, which is fine. And number 3 is just like number 7. Number 4 is where you're going to see which one, which number you should use. Should you use mean? Should you use median? And should you use mode? Mean is the best summary. If you ever want to summarize something, use the mean because it has all the numbers averaged out. If you ever want what's in the middle, use median. And if you ever want to know what is most often, what is most frequent, then you're going to use the mode. So it's really kind of looking back, okay, do I want a summary of everything? Do I want to know what's kind of in the middle? Or do I want to know what's most often? So here we have 9 participants. An example had the following reaction times. Which measure would be used to summarize? Summarize means mean. I don't have to find the mean. I just say, oh yeah, I want the mean here. In a survey, a soft drink company asked people to name as many brands of soft drinks as they can. Which measure gives the most frequently mentioned brand? If I want something that's most frequent, the most often, I want the mode. Last 10 callers to a customer support line had the following length. Which measure should be used to summarize? Again, summary, I would want the mean. Okay, so we're going to get looking for those key words to help you. And then we check. Oh, partially correct. One of mine is wrong. Okay, summarize the data, mean. People to name a brand of soft drink as they can. Which measure gives the most frequently mentioned brand? I would say that was the mode. Last 10 calls to a customer had the following length in minute. Which measure should be used to summarize the data? I would say that's the mean. So, and it doesn't tell me which one, so this is frustrating. So let's recheck. Let's see which one I got wrong. Oh, this one actually was the median. So let's look at that. The 9 participants in the experiment had the following reaction times. Which measure should be used to summarize the data? They're saying the median would to summarize because it's their reaction time. Okay, I probably would have said mean. So if you get one of those and it's partially incorrect, just drop me an email and I can give you a few points or I can give you half a point back on that because I would say the mean would be a good one, but they're saying kind of the median would also be in the middle. So there you go. Always fun to see kind of what Alex says. All right, so those are your questions for your homework. Please let me know if you have any questions. And I will be at Zoom Wednesdays at 11. See you guys.